What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk frustrated. He wants Joyce, a done deal, or a shot at Anthony Joshua ordered immediately. Okay, Oleksandr Usyk, promoter of former undisputed cruiserweight champion Oleksandr Usyk, explains that his team is getting frustrated with the lingering situation for Usyk's next fight. Usyk is the WBO mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua. Joshua is close to finalizing a deal to face WBC champion Tyson Fury in a two-fight series. The World Boxing Organization has approved a collision between Usyk and Joyce for the WBO interim title. Usyk claims the negotiations to face Joyce have been dragged out for too long, and their patience is starting to run thin. If AJ versus Fury is not likely to happen this year, or is rescheduled until the end of the year, AJ has to make a decision defense against Usyk unless he relinquishes the title, Usyk told Sky Sports. He says, the WBO has to gather the strength and to make the courageous decision to order AJ versus Usyk, and that will be the triumph of justice. Otherwise, boxing will accelerate its decline in popularity due to unfair politics. Usyk can't make any moves as there's no certainty around. Usyk is doing well, safe and sound, fit and working hard, and is ready to face whoever the WBO legally nominates. But my last conversation regarding Joyce took place in the middle of January. I talked to George Warren. Since that time, we hardly moved anywhere. Adam Morale of SJM Boxing, who manages Joyce, claims the negotiations with Usyk are ongoing with his manager, Igis Klimas. I can confirm that SJAM are in conversation with Igis Klimas about the Usyk versus Joyce fight. The management teams of the fighters get on well and talks are progressing. Frank Warren is looped in across all matters as Joe's promoter on record, Mali said. Okay, well, this here is very interesting, okay? Usyk is getting frustrated, and understandably so. These promoters are not getting it together, and Frank Warren is at a point where he's trying to seal a deal with a much bigger fight, or with a bigger fight, okay, with Joshua and Fury. Well, the problem with this whole puzzle is you have to do one thing before doing another, I'm assuming, which would be smart too. Why? Because if Frank Warren makes a fight right off the bat for Joyce and Usyk, and then something happens with Tyson Fury and Joshua, that means that Joshua will be out. Not to say that Frank deals with Joshua in any kind of way. He's not the promoter, but there would be some stipulations if Usyk messes around and has to fight Joyce when he knew he could have fought for the WBO strap, okay? See, the WBO agreed for Joyce to get the opportunity to fight Usyk, and Usyk agreed also. Now, the problem is if Tyson Fury doesn't sign with Joshua, right, that concerns all of the belts, including the WBO, that means Usyk would have been missed out due to the fact of that deal they're following through. So by default, those guys have to work that deal out first to see what's going to happen, because if that fight doesn't happen, then Usyk can be like, you know what? Why would I fight Joyce when I'm already obligated to fight Joshua for the belt that I came to this division to fight for? Counterpunch. So it makes sense. And if I'm Usyk, I would be frustrated. You know, and then I think the WBO should have done their job. I mean, I'm happy for Joyce and his opportunity, but to him to throw in there just because he beat a guy that wasn't tested really anyway, which is Daniel Dubois, who the hell is that? People don't even talk about Daniel Dubois anymore. Let's just be honest. Until when he got shut out by Joyce, no one hardly talks about him anymore. We talk about Joyce and the possibility of him fighting Usyk. But if that fight is lingered on, and I think Frank Warren is hindered by another fight and another much bigger deal, I think that it would screw everything up from the top all the way down to the bottom. That's what I think. And Usyk, now you understand why Usyk was adamant on, no, I want my title shot because we don't know what's going to happen, because Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder still had some type of weird situation going on with them. So if we don't know what's going on with them, how can you guarantee a fight between him and a guy that you're obligated to fight, which is Anthony Joshua? Because if Anthony Joshua doesn't know, how is he supposed to know? You see what I'm saying? So it's all this is a big misunderstanding. I think it's a big misunderstanding due to lack of information. Okay, and I think we should know all the facts. And I think at this point, everyone should know what everyone is doing and knowing what's going on with everybody else, because that's the only way that we're going to determine to see what people can make their decisions on. Okay, so Usyk, basically, this is how it's supposed to go. Usyk should know as much as what's going on with Tyson Fury and Wilder, and along with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, so he knows where to take this. Because if I'm Usyk, I would want the Anthony Joshua fight too. I'm all for it. I'm all for fairness. Okay? If Tyson Fury fought Wilder and got Wilder out of the way, if he could beat Wilder the third time, which he's favored to do, that would have been no problem. I was all for that because that's what he signed for. That's not a sanctioning body issue. That's a contractual issue. Okay? But it's still legal. Right? As far as I know, these sanctioning bodies are supposed to be legal, right? And fair, right? But if Usyk had the opportunity and he was obligated through the WBO to fight Anthony Joshua, that's what's supposed to happen. Joshua is a unified champion. Joshua is the guy that actually defended the belts. So Tyson Fury, with what's going on over there, which I have many videos to do today concerning Tyson Fury, because there's some new information coming out about that and him and them, right? That would put this to a screeching halt. Now you get why Usyk is the way he is. And I'm all for people getting what they deserved, okay? Wilder deserved a third fight. Usyk deserves his mandatory fight with Anthony Joshua, according to the WBO. That's it. Are those the more popular fights? Who knows? I know one thing. Right? Those fights were on the table before this particular fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury brewed up. Okay? So it is what it is. And I completely understand Oleksandr Usyk being frustrated, because I think you can't do one thing until something else is settled. And I think that's the problem with Frank Warren. That's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Oleksandr Usyk frustrated, pushing the issue to get the Joshua fight or relinquish the title. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.